Good morning, students. Welcome to Christ College Autonomous Audit Course for BA students, Human Rights. We have been discussing on our fifth module, Human Rights in India. In the last classes, we came across, we discussed on agencies for protecting human rights. In the last class, we already had discussion on judiciary. Today, we discuss on the second constituent of this topic, the National Human Rights Commission. I think you remember there were three agencies for protecting human rights in India. One is judiciary, the another one is National Human Rights Commission, third one is media. In the last class, we already discussed on the first thing, the judiciary. Today we have been discussing on the remaining two, the National Human Rights Commission and the media. The National Human Rights Commission, as you know, this is regarded as the most important agencies for protecting human rights in India. This national, as its name suggests, this particular commission has been established for protecting and promoting, protecting human rights and promoting the awareness on human rights in India. Let's see when it was established. Before the establishment of the National Human Rights Commission, the judiciary has been, it was doing a lot of job, because as you know, the judiciary is not simply dealing with the human rights. It has been dealing with so many things. So this particular commission was set up for exclusively for promoting human rights in India. Let's see then when this thing was established. The National Human Rights is an autonomous body, is a statutory body, which was established on 12th October 1993. This body was established on 12th October 1993. There are 5 members, 1 chairperson and other 4 members is part of this commission. Then there are other ex officio members. We are not going into that much detail, but let's see what are the major roles, what are the major functions is handled by the National Human Rights Commission. As you know, the National Human Rights Commission is an autonomous body, or it's a statutory body established on 12th October 1993. It's not that old, around 27-28 years. Then it inquired what are its major functions. National Human Rights Commission inquired into violation of human rights. It inquired into violation of human rights in all over India, violation of human rights. Then other thing, visit jail or other institution under the control of state government, because you know that in jail, even the prisoners, they may be convicts or prisoners, they do have their own human rights. Fundamental rights is set on set in our constitution, because we already discussed about Indian constitution human rights 1 or 2 days in the earlier classes. So even the prisoners have their own fundamental rights. Maybe they are convicts or they are prisoners, they did commit some crime, but according to our modern understanding, even prisoners do have, international understanding, even the prisoners do have some sort of fundamental rights. Okay, so this Human Rights Commission, which visit jail or other institutions, similar institution under the control of state government, even the national government, to understand, to check any sort of violation is happening there, and to protect the fundamental rights of prisoners. Then the other one, review the safeguards for the protection of human rights and recommend measures for their effective implementation. Then definitely it's safeguard, review the safeguard, because you know that there are different safeguards for protecting human rights, because human rights is already, the fundamental rights is enshrined in our constitution. But the problem, like a big country like India, because there are a huge population, the population is very diverse, there is a huge income cap, there is a hierarchy, then the class differences. Our country is very diverse. So even though the human rights which are enshrined in our constitution, again I missed one more point, quite number of people are illiterate. All are Indian citizens, but a quite number of people are illiterate. They don't know anything about human rights. So there is a chance for more chance for exploitation. So what Human Rights Commission is doing, that they safeguard protection of human rights, because there are safeguards for protecting human rights which are enshrined in our constitution. Then the fundamental rights which are enshrined in our constitution is supposed to implement by government, because sometimes the government or other officers, they may not interested in certain things. So the Human Rights Commission has to enforce government to do their duty according to your constitution. Then the study treaties and other international instruments on human rights, because there are lots of, you know that India is a part of world system, because we already seen that, you know, the modern concept of human rights developed after Enlightenment period. So there are so many developments which is happening in the Western Europe and in America and other places. So what Human Rights Commission has to do, that the Human Rights Commission has to follow what is happening around the world, what is happening in other developed or civilized or like democratic countries, what is happening in other democratic setup. India is a democratic country, as you know that. What is happening in other democratic world? So they have to update various instruments on human rights. They have to follow various treaties on human rights strictly and thoroughly. Then they have to make arrangements according to it in Indian context, because you know that we are also part of UN. UN has been dealing in so many you know, like treaties related with human rights. India is also signatory in the most part. So our Human Rights Commission has to responsibility to follow the treaties and other international instruments on human rights. Then they have to take actions according to it in India. Let's see then another, the promote research in the field of human rights. Earlier we know that there are not so many courses dealing with human rights in India. Especially in the last 20 to 25 years, human rights got, you know, a special recognition. No more it's a part of political science. It is an independent, you know, like independent course or independent subject. Previously it was regarded as a part of, you know, like a political science. Now it's an independent subject and an autonomous subject. So there are courses which are offered by our universities for studying more, or for doing more research in human rights. So our National Human Rights Commission has duty to promote research in the field of human rights. Not only research, even the basic study. Then that's why the citizens are getting more understanding on human rights. Previously, the human rights is it's a part of political science, wider subject of political science. It's not an independent. Now it's an independent thing. Now it's become an independent thing. There are post-graduation offered in human rights. There are diplomas offered in human rights. Now that there are so many students in our university, they engage in research, doctoral research in human rights. So the National Human Rights Commission has duty to promote research in the field of human rights. Then next, spread literacy among various sections of society and promote awareness of safeguard. That we already discussed. Promote spread literacy, because our country is diverse. Then the good number, even in that, the huge population, more than 1.3 billion people here, like 1.3 billion people here. Then again, a good number of them are illiterate. Significant percentage of them are illiterate. Even among the illiterate, good number of them, significant percentage of them don't know anything about human rights, because they may not have awareness. They don't know about the fundamental rights. So there are lots of exploitation from both from the government side and governmental organization, even from private parties. So what National Human Rights Commission is doing, that they just promote awareness. They do conduct seminars, they do conduct workshops, they do conduct symposium. So they promote through media. So they promote spread literacy among various sections of society to promote awareness of their fundamental rights. Then encourage the efforts of NGOs and institutions working in the field of human rights. Then the National Human Rights Commission promotes various NGOs and other governmental institutions working in the field of human rights, because there are several NGOs working in the field of human rights. We will see one like PUCL. We will see it later. So the Human Rights Commission they have the responsibility to encourage the efforts of NGOs and other institutions working in the field of the human rights. Then the final thing that take sumo to action. Sumo to action is like last class we came across a public interest litigation. Just like that. Sumo to action in the sense like the Human Rights Commission is just act like court. So just like PAL, public interest litigation, it's like in the National Human Rights Commission just act like a court, because in judiciary we have came across the PLI. It is just like in suo motu action. National Human Rights Commission can take can take some interest in certain cases, because no one has to approach National Human Rights Commission that this human right violation is happening in this place, or human right violation is happening in this particular society, or human rights violation happening in the certain area, because no one has supposed to complain it. Because then somehow the National Human Rights Commission came to know about this thing through media or on some other channels, so they can take case directly, just like court. So they can take case directly without having any complaint. If someone, it is happening particularly through media, because media is inviting attention of National Human Rights Commission to see it is happening here. This gross violation of human rights is happening in this factory, or in this estate, or in this area, or among this society, among this section of society. So National Human Rights Commission can take actions their own, because nobody has to complain about it. They have that autonomous right, they have that authority, just like court. That it is known as suo motu. Then let's go to other agencies for protecting human rights. We already came across judiciary, then we already discussed on National Human Rights Commission. This is regarded the third important agencies for protecting human rights in India. This is media. As you know, in any democratic institution there are the four major components: legislature, executive, judiciary, and media. Media is regarded as the fourth estate. Judiciary is regarded as the third estate. Media is regarded as the fourth estate. This is part of any functioning democracy. Okay, this is a signal of any healthy, for example, a free media is a signal of any healthy functioning democracy, according to modern understanding or contemporary understanding. So, in the media is playing a major role for protecting human rights in India, because as you know that both judiciary and the National Human Rights Commission, they do have their own limitation. So, because of the private bodies, because their reach is limited, but that's not the case with media. Media is everywhere. So, media is very active in the grassroots level, because they do have reporters. Then, so they get more information, because the people approach them more, because they are more accessible. They are not like common people can't approach, they fear to approach judiciary or National Human Rights Commission or State Human Rights Commission, because these are government bodies. But that's not the case with media, because media, they feel they are more comfortable to approach media, because they do have grassroots level reporters. So definitely the media, they bring just we have to remember, in this a big country, more than 1.3 billion population. So media bring attention. They invite attention of both judiciary and National Human Rights Commission in the case of protecting human rights. So let's see what are the major. We here discuss some major, very primary points. We are not discussing all. We here discuss only the primary thing, major points. Let's see. The media regarded as a fourth stage in any functioning, healthy democracy. The media is essential to preserve human rights. As you know that media is very essential to, especially free media is a signal of any democracy. The free media is essential to preserve human rights, because media reach is high, it's not like judiciary, or it's not like a National Human Rights Commission. It's reach is high, because it's widespread. I already discussed. So media is essential to preserve human rights. In the case the media came across, media get into touch with various human rights violations or various sections of population. That's not practically possible for judiciary or National Human Rights Commission. That's why the media can easily invite the attention of National Human Rights Commission or judiciary. This is happening in this remote corner of our country. This sort of gross human rights violation is happening. That's why you have to take actions. So media is essential to, if we have only free media, then only it works. If you don't have a free media, it doesn't work. Even there is a National Human Rights Commission or there is a judiciary, but if they don't know something happening in some remote corner of India, some remote village in India, they can't do anything. They can't, because they don't know about it, because practically it's not possible to any judge or any member of Human Rights Commission to visit all these remote locations. It's not possible, because someone has to bring their attention. So if there is a free media, only it will work. If there is no free media, nobody is coming to know about it. The third, media promote human rights by making people aware of their rights. Media promotes human rights by making people aware of their rights. They are doing the same duty of National Human Rights Commission, because we have to remember the difference between media and National Human Rights Commission, that National Human Rights Commission is a government body, government-set body, but it's more official, but media is more unofficial. Its reach is high. Its reach is high. It has grassroots level reporters. Its reach is high. The normal citizen approach media. They can approach media much more easier than National Human Rights Commission or judiciary. So media promotes human rights by making people aware of their right. 25 years back, the Indians, they don't know what is human rights. There is, it's all enshrined in a constitution, fundamental rights, other sort of thing, but the general public don't know, otherwise they don't care much about human rights. That's not the case here. Now in the last 20 to 25 years, the people are aware of human rights. They do have their own certain fundamental rights. Media played a bigger role in it. Okay. Then media published the human rights violation stories, as we maybe come across the dowry related cases, or SC/ST harassment, or minority harassment, or Adivasi harassment. So all these stories like brought into public by media. Even the National Human Rights Commission or judiciary came to know about certain things through media. Because nobody there to complain that it is happening here, because people are the victims. They scared to approach the authorities. In that case, media brought their perilous condition, or very pathetic condition. So the National Human Rights Commission or the judiciary take action thereon without having any complaints. Then the last and final point, the fourth point, the media publish the human rights violation stories. The media gives publicity to individuals and organizations engaged in human rights protection activity. They promote the, citizens who, or there are NGOs and citizens who engage in human rights protection activities. Media promote them. There are not everybody is, because if you work in human rights related thing, you have to face very strong opponents. Sometimes government, sometimes police officials, sometimes other sort of authority, sometimes very powerful business magnates, sometimes other sort of lobbies. You have to face very powerful group. So they most of the human rights activists, they sacrifice their life for well-being of others, well-being of fellow Indian citizens. So what's happening here, media, because they should have some sort of recognition from the part of media, from the part of our society, because normal people don't know about these people. So media give publicity to individuals and organizations. They have been engaging in various human rights protection activities. So they get recognition. Sometimes they get international recognition. They get international awards, promotion. So it encourages, the people are more aware of this, the life of the sacrifices of human right activities. It help to preserve human rights movements in India, or it may bring more awareness on human rights among common citizens. So the media do a wonderful job in this part. So let's stop here. Then the next class we will discuss on the major human rights movements in India, in independent India, the post-independent India. So let's stop here. Then thanks for your patience. Then have a nice day.